5 law firm marketing strategies to grow your firm in 2022 with Mark Homer, episode 273. Are you ready to make your law firm a profit-generating machine that will free up your time and skyrocket your impact? With more than 2 decades of business growth experience and having proven that you can be successful while prioritizing your family and your impact, introducing the Profit with Law podcast. I am your host, the creator of the Firm Differentiator 10X Effect, Moshe Amsel. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Profit with Law podcast. I'm your host, Moshe Amsel, and we are in the holiday season, wrapping up 2021. And what better way to wrap up the year than with an amazing event that we are running. So here at Profit with Law and the Law Firm Growth Summit, we are running a annual planning event. Make 2022 your best year ever. And it started on Monday, December 20th. This is being released on Tuesday, December 21st. And it's still going on. So if you're still listening to this event is happening for 4 days from the 20th to the 23rd, 12 p.m. Eastern for an hour and a half each day. And today we had the pleasure of hearing from Mark Homer from GNGF on 5 law firm marketing strategies to grow your firm in 2022. And Seth Price talking about playing hardball in local search, how to get ROI with a limited budget. What we are doing is we're repurposing these, what do I want to say? We're repurposing these sessions into the podcast. So if you want to just listen to the audio of these, you can definitely tune in here on the podcast. And there are a total of 9 sessions. So we'll have 9 episodes starting today that will be released with each of these sessions. However, because the sessions are being delivered live on video, it may be better for you to watch the video, to see the slides, or you may want to download the slide deck or download some of the deliverables that some of the speakers are talking about. So here it is. We want to make this really easy for you. If you want to register for the event and still participate, because you're hearing this before December 23rd, then go to profitwithlaw.com/annual planning to register for the event. If you would like to access the recordings, the replays, the resources that they provided, slide decks, worksheets, anything that the speakers provided, then you want to go to profitwithlaw.com/planning replay. profitwithlaw.com/planning replay. All of these URLs are linked up in the show notes to this episode, which can be found at profitwithlaw.com/273, profitwithlaw.com/273. And without further ado, I'm just going to have my team queue up the replay of this episode. Here you go.
5 marketing resolutions instead of the word strategies there for growing your firm in 2022. People love the term resolutions. I'm with Moshe on the let's figure out strategies, figure out tactics, figure out measurability, and let's do this quarter by quarter. Let's grow and be smart about and proactive about it. But let's have fun with the presentation and call it resolutions. So quick about me, Mark Homer, as he mentioned, founder and CEO of GNGF, do a lot of speaking. Have a book that I think probably have a copy here somewhere, but have a book that's done pretty well. So that's how I end up doing a lot of my speaking, I think. But also have a recent podcast that came out with Melanie Leonard called Your Law Firm is a Business, Take It to the Next Level. I don't need to talk too much about myself. Something cool about me, though, I've been in a plane crash. So that's something unique. Now, the irony is not lost on me because that's what I was trying to do when the plane crashed. I was trying to go skydiving. So I literally crashed in a plane with a parachute on my back. So fortunately, everybody survived. So now it's just a good story for webinars. All right. So first of all, I wanted to talk about why marketing, because I just want to make sure everybody wraps their head around just that marketing is important. So we could talk about, classic HBR kind of case studies like Kellogg's and Post post World War I, before the Great Depression, people were just moving to this idea of cold cereal. It was like a crazy new thing. Entering the Great Depression, Kellogg's doubles their marketing budget. Post, reins everything in. Coming out of the Great Depression, Kellogg's is like, profits are up 30%. Post is struggling. To this day, I think in 2020, Kellogg was about 14 billion, and I think Post was around 6 billion in revenue. So, doubling down on marketing in a really tough time worked really well for them. But let's talk about law firms. Unfortunately, because it was COVID, but we do have some data, right? So we had this great Clio Legal Trends report on the left here. And we looked at our data to say, well, how does that compare? So I'm going to go through this quickly because I spent a lot of time last year talking about this. You may have caught it already. But in Q1 2020, revenues were up for the average law firm. That was good, right? Things were better than 2019. But with COVID coming on and the shutdowns and everything just dropped hard, right? Revenues were dropped 8%. I think new matters dropped like 30%, which then made revenues slower to grow over time. But we looked at our clients. Now we did, say anybody who was spending about a minimum $12,000 a year, which is not a huge investment in marketing, but enough where we think that you're actually putting some investment in marketing. So again, in Q1, our all of the clients that made that list there over 12,000. Leads were up 55%, which, by the way, I hope they're up 55% because as marketers, and Seth probably would agree, right? Like, we're not doing our job if your leads aren't up year after year after year. But by Q2 2020, leads did drop 20% versus Q1. It's almost very similar, drop, right? But the leads were still up versus 2019, right? So the people who invested in marketing saw a faster comeback. And they actually didn't drop as hard, and they actually were better off in 2020 than 2019, making through the year. So those who were investing in marketing, and maybe this isn't like people who started spending in 2020, right? But these are people who have been doing it for a bit and had the foundations, had their search engine optimization dialed in, had some social media presence, had some ads, whatever it was. They were doing things that actually allowed their firm to grow. So that's kind of just the why marketing. Why is marketing important, right? So the goal of your marketing investment, I think, should really be to create repeatable, consistent stream of business, right? That turns into profitable, right? Not just clients, but profitable clients, even when you're not focusing on it, right? So when you're out networking and you're shaking hands and you're talking to a referral partner and trying to drum up some referrals, you're working on marketing. But when you get a marketing investment going and you can get some things in place that provide some repeatable and consistent, you can do things when you're not focusing on it. So you can focus on other parts of your business, which are really important too, right? Servicing clients, delivering value, finances, all these other pieces are important. So now let's talk about, so real quick, like I said, I got like an hour worth of stuff here. I'm going to cover different topics. You can get a copy of our paperback or ebook version. We'll send a USB key at gngf.com/resolutions for free. That's something I do for Moshe's audience all the time. But the other thing I did, things that support some of the stuff I'm talking about, I grabbed some trainings from our Legal Marketing Academy, and I pulled them in here so you can access how-to videos and templates for free here on some topics. And then obviously there's our podcast. So, but I'll bring up when those topics are important so you know kind of like why we're there. Marketing resolution number one. So resolution number one is please protect your referrals. And this is not new. I've been talking about protecting your referrals for years. I think I went back to, I think this is like the 4th or 5th version or whatever of the book. I mean, it was like section 2, protect your referrals, right? In our GNGF way, we've got what we call our 6 steps to digital marketing success. Step number 1 is protect your referrals. So this is something we do all the time for clients, but I'm surprised still in 2020, 2021, going into 2022, that we'll, search somebody who was looking to come on as a client, and like the search return on just their branded search, their name is awful. And so if people are referring you, they're referring your name out there, they're trying to send you business, they don't just give your business card out and somebody calls you. Those days are gone, right? They give your name out, somebody pulls this supercomputer out of their pocket and they search your name and say, okay, that's the person. There's, they can quickly see your Google profiles, right? Other information about you. If that search doesn't support what their friend said to refer, then they're just going to think their friend's crazy because everybody assumes that Google's right. So please protect your referrals. What does this look like? Again, there's sections in the book and stuff on this, but you want to claim and update directory listings. This is like things you just have to do now. It's not like it's going to move you ahead. You just have to do to keep up. Claim your directory listings. You can look at some data aggregation services out there. Seth might, I know he often talks a little bit about some of the claiming stuff, so I don't want to go too much in. Google Business Profile. You'll hear me say GMB, Google My Business, GMB. You'll hear me say that a lot. You probably hear Seth say it a lot. You probably hear other people throughout this week say GMB. Google changed the name like a month or so ago, so it's Google Business Profile now. We just call it GMB. It's easy to say, so you'll hear me say that. But your GMB profile, I'm going to spend more time on that later. Reviews, make sure you get great reviews, get a review management process set up. And so just, make sure people can find you when they go online. What does that look like? If somebody searches on, somebody gets referred to this firm, this is a strong profile, right? So they've got, they're dominating this page. So on their name, which should be easy to dominate if you do the right things, right on their name, they've got like subheadings there underneath them. They're obviously on the map. They've got multiple offices. All their offices are showing up on the map, and they're not even like right next door to each other, right? So if I continue scrolling down, we've got their Facebook page. They have a Super Lawyers profile. They have a LinkedIn profile, right? Like everything's about them. Even the related searches some of them are about them or about what we care about. So Google knows that Tronfeld Wesson Dirt is a personal injury attorney, is an accident lawyer, work injury, right? They know that we mapped that correctly for this firm, so that referral, somebody's coming down going, okay, my friend's not stupid. Google agrees. Tronfeld's who I should call for this problem, right? So that's protecting your referrals. I do have a free thing we did on our website a couple years ago in conjunction with a book. So you can go to gnGF.com/PYR. That will get you to like a 30-day challenge we did on step-by-step of doing a lot of the stuff yourself. I think it's a lot of mundane, tedious work that is super easy to like outsource to somebody, but you can go through that if you want to, kind of make sure you're doing all the right things there. So that's resolution number one. Resolution number two, we want to make sure we're maximizing your yield. And this is a term I got from a friend of mine, Dennis Yu, from Bliss Metrics. He's big on when you spend money on ads or things like that, investing in search, investing in ads, investing in social media ads. You want to maximize your yield throughout the whole process. You want to make sure you get every little piece of dollar out of that spend. And the way to do this is to own your data. And what I mean by this is, and I've been talking about this for a couple of years as well. So this is, maybe it's not new to you. We have this idea of, renting, right? You're spending money on Google ads, Facebook ads, you're doing work on SEO, you're doing things to send some traffic to a website or have somebody see your information. If you don't capture that information, if somebody doesn't pick up the phone and call you or fill out a form or something like that, and they move on, you spent some money and they're gone, right? So you kind of like rented, right? They came for a little bit, they saw your real estate of your website and they moved on, they didn't do anything. There is the ability to buy leads. And sometimes, like we have clients who've done that and they come in and we always measure it. And sometimes some of those leads are still converting. So we continue buying leads. But there's services out there, right? So it's not like we don't, do a lead selling ourselves, but we'll leverage some tools that other people do. And that's okay. If the return's happening, if you're measuring it and that's working, it's not a bad strategy. It's not long-term in our opinion, but it's something that there. Owning is where we want to be, right? We want to own our leads. That means if somebody comes in, whether you rent them or buy them, you want to have them in your system so you can follow up. And there's some great tools specific to legal now, right? Lawmatics is a great tool that plays with a lot of different CRMs. Practice Panther, all the way through it has tools for some of this. Clio Grow connects into Clio Manage, right? There's Lead Docket. There's a bunch of tools, right? We work with a number of clients and we've had to play with all these different tools and connect them and get them all working. But getting that information into a CRM is so important. And the reason is because this idea of funnels, and you'll hear, marketing funnels, nurturing campaigns. You'll hear a lot of these kind of terms from people, and you might hear this over the next few days because I think it's really important. In the middle of the pandemic, when people are really struggling and they're like, I'm not getting any leads and my business is drying up, our number one recommendation for the fastest fix was to go to your list of clients, put some emails together and send it out. And we had people come back to us and say, oh my gosh, I just got some clients because I sent an email out and people referred me, whether it was estate planning or divorce or whatever it was, this idea of emailing still works. So staying top of mind, whether it's emailing, you can actually add text messaging in these days, right? Social media, putting yourself in front of the people based on your list that you're uploading. There's a lot of ways to do this, but at the end of the day, you want traffic coming in. You're going to build a lead magnet, and I'll talk about that. And then you're going to do lead nurturing, which is essentially just sending emails to people over time, reminding them who you are. There's some cadences and stuff we've done in that video, talk about kind of like a good way to start nurturing. And then I think it's so important this day and age. We've been implementing a lot of like all the intake work we're doing, all the traffic stuff we're doing into CRM. So we've actually built like this legal CRM quick start, right? So we can connect to Lawmatics, Clio Grow, et cetera. So our clients can get that information and own their data now, which is really important. When I talk about lead magnets, this is what I'm talking about. Simple things, checklists, right? Just 17 steps for probates, step-by-step accident guide, right? So a topical guide, tip sheets, this was a social media do's and don'ts. I think it was a business attorney that they had created this. Top 5 reasons family need an estate plan, right? Just FAQ. You write a bunch of FAQs. Maybe you have FAQs on your website already because you've been following all the stuff that we've been saying for a while, right? And you have some good FAQs. Package a few of them together and create like a kind of top 5 list or something. Top 7, top 3. I don't know why odd numbers work really well. They just tend to perform better. So you got top 5. By the way, if you noticed, kind of do our own stuff here. We got the top 5 resolutions. So then worksheets are another one, like, things that people can fill out. We've had kind of DUI calculators on websites and stuff, right? These are things that people put their email address in to get that information. So if a potential new client has voluntarily shared their data with you, this is a very engaged prospect and probably your most valuable data. In my opinion, not using it is just like taking some cash and burying it, right? Like you've spent money to get these leads. Let's do something with it. Put it for work for you. Follow up, nurture, et cetera. And again, the kind of way to do this, the tactics around this are you're going to use gated content to capture data. Use your network to kind of farm that data out. Like tell your referral partners, hey, I have this really cool content. Do you want to offer that to your mailing list? Maybe you have a financial advisor or a chiropractor or somebody, and you can kind of provide some content to them. They're always looking for content for their newsletter, right? So you can actually use your network to kind of get more people without even spending more money on Google. Launch or improve if you're already doing lead nurturing campaigns. Improve your lead nurturing campaigns, and please stay top of mind. I'm going to talk about follow up later, but that's a big one. Just staying top of mind. Make sure we're good on time. All right. Again, this is that lead magnet, lead nurturing. There's a how-to video and template at gnGF.com/resolutions. Go grab it. I literally pulled it right out of Legal Marketing Academy, where people were taught by our account managers who do this every day. So grab that information and please create some magnets, get your nurturing going. Number 3, make Google your best referral partner. This is your resolution for next year. I think it's a great one. I'm going to go through this quickly because I believe Seth will probably cover this a lot in his. He's really focused around the SEO side on his presentation. This is from the Clio Legal Trends Report. But look, when people go, look for a lawyer, a bunch of people kind of say, yeah, I'm going to go ask a friend or family member. But half the people say, I would never ask a friend or family member. I don't want to talk about this. It's embarrassing. I'm going to search on my own. And where do they search? We know they're pretty much going to Google, right? If people are searching, right, immigration lawyer near me. Here's a near me searches all the time. And near me, you may not even type in. Somebody might type the word immigration law, and then it'll just fill out lawyer near me, right? You can see there's just so much information. And like all this information is on this. I scrolled 3 times on this phone to get these screenshots and couldn't even get to an actual website, where an actual attorney's website was outside of the Google Maps. We have ads here. We have ads here. We have the maps listings. We have a Yelp listing, which is strange. Actually, Yelp's been getting pushed down a little bit. And then, maybe this is, that's another one, expertise.com, right? So they're not even showing the website in this first thing. So Google is something that, this maps, you get on this maps, you're one of the few organic listings at the top. Great place to be. SEO still works. It takes time. We're big on, understanding that this is a foundation you build over time, but look at this, this person here, started out, kind of with us doing next to nothing. We picked up their website, started working on things, and you can see just foundation, rinse and repeat, the stuff. And Seth will talk about this stuff all the time as well. And over time, they're crushing it on keywords. I mean, look at this. They've got 50 top organic keywords. There are top 3 that are critical to what they do. And then you just see the visits per month kind of follow that. So SEO still works. It works every single day. EAT is a term, and I'll let Seth talk about this, but expertise, authority, trust. We've been talking about it for freaking years, I think. Seth, you remember, we've been at PubCon, we were talking about EAT years and years ago, right? but it's coming back. Like people are talking about it again. Expertise, authority, trust. I think for law firms, good content on educational content, advocacy, and some content around location, so people, Google and everybody knows kind of where you're at and what playground you're in, right? So content does remain king. Links are actually like getting devalued more and more and more. So good content, Google thinks that it's smarter than the links at this point. So develop accordingly. What we're doing for next year, though, is we've kind of come up with a new acronym for EAT internally. And this is one of our strategic account managers came up with this, but it's engage, right? So there's a recency bias a little bit now. So Google's saying, it actually went away from this for a little bit, and we're seeing it come back where, getting content out there regularly or taking your content and enhancing it is something that is working really well and moving things back up. So maybe something's kind of start slipping down the ranking a little bit. You can go out, take the same kind of content, add some stuff to it, move it around, change the date, and you can kind of shoot it back up. Be responsive, like on reviews, questions. Google My Business has questions and answers and reviews and posts, right? Engage your community online and off. I think that PR and networking is the new link building. Getting local links to your website or local people talking about you in your community, which is what lawyers do really well already, by the way. So this strategy can work really well next year. Anticipate search intent is critical. What challenges do they have? How do you remove variables? Like, what are they going to be searching on? And then do not allow perfect to be the enemy of good. Throw stuff out there, test it, and then move on. Not even gonna worry about this because I think Seth's going to talk a lot about this. Get rich results is a big one for me. Rich results are working really well. This is like what used to be what blueberry kale smoothie recipe. Now we got blueberry kale smoothie. Look at this. I mean, this is what Google's giving in terms of rich results now. What does it look like for a lawyer? We've got this one here, right? So we've got a client where we got, like the local service ad. We've got him in the map pack. We even got him down here in the organic rankings, which is like, this doesn't happen that often. So this is, results may vary, right? But look what Google's doing. They're sticking in, people also ask, top stories, see more news in the middle of that to kind of take people away. So Google's actually becoming, really hard. So if you're not getting these rich results and getting above their stuff, or you're not in their stuff, it's becoming harder. Way you get rich results is schema markup. Again, I know Seth has talked about this before. I'm not sure if he'll talk about it on this presentation, but look at Schema Builder for Chrome. You can Google, schema markup, but legal service FAQ page is a great one. Here's, I think I hit sorry, that was a link. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry, Moshe. So what this looks like though, is if done well, like this is an FAQ page, and somebody said Washington State speeding ticket. It's outranking the government website, right? And so people are going to her website and seeing this information and becoming clients. Number 4, and we have got 5 minutes, so I'm going to kind of speed through this one because I know Seth's going to cover this a lot. But build your second home is the resolution number 4. It goes really closely with some of the other things I talked about in terms of protecting referrals and treating Google as your referral partner. But this is that Google business profile, or what we used to call Google My Business. Greg Gifford, another friend of ours from the search industry, literally said your Google My Business listing is your new homepage. Okay. And the data goes along with that, right? So Google My Business, there's this idea of zero-click search. Google Business Profile is a very similar piece for that. But if I just typed the word Bengals, that's all I typed. I happen to be in Cincinnati. Google knew that. It gave me the score. It told me, where they're playing next week, where they're playing the week after that. Gave me who the head coach is, right? All this information came just by typing the word Bengals. Years ago, right? What did we have to do? We would click on ESPN or Yahoo Sports or whatever to get there. Now Google's just giving it to us. They're doing the same thing over here, right? So I typed in, I've typed in DUI attorney near me, and Google says, well, I kind of label that as criminal justice attorneys. Here are 3 right here. This one's closed, by the way. They don't open until tomorrow morning. This one's 24 hours. This one's 24 hours. And by the way, you can call right now, right? So, if I click on one of the profiles, the old model, right? You searched, you click to the homepage, they go to your website, they look at your website for information. Maybe they call, maybe they filled a form. The new model is they're searching and Google's getting that kind of visibility staying within Google, but they can click to call, right? So they're not really going to your website and they're calling. They can get directions without going to your website. They can't actually get your website, which is great, right? We do want there, but they can also ask questions. They can read reviews. Some people have appointments set up. You can actually, request an appointment right on your Google My Business profile. So there's so many things people can do, and this actually happens. Okay. So make sure you're looking at your Google Business Profile Insights. If you are spending time on Google Business Profile or Google My Business, again, we use all the time. This is what the insights look like. There's a lot of great data, but this is an example, right? So 2,100 searches triggered their business profile. In this particular client, 101 calls were made from a business profile, right? So we took a client, had next to nothing, 800% increase from the previous year, but 101 calls made from the business profile, didn't go to their website, right? Focus on this stuff. Make sure, and that's 101 calls. That's great. So build that second home, Google My Business. I'll let Seth dive into this more, but essentially treat your business profile with the same care as your homepage. I do have a thing about online reviews and this how-to video and templates to make sure we are covering that's really, really important topic. We can spend hours on that, but we have a how-to video. Again, these actually have downloadable templates and guides and stuff as well. Final marketing resolution. Okay, number 5. We're calling it invigorate your intake, and we've got great people coming on talking about this. Jordan's talking about some stuff tomorrow, I think, and Maddie talks about this stuff a lot. So check them out. They're probably going to go into more detail or have some nuances. But look, we know that growing firms are more likely to use client intake and CRM solutions based on Clio's data, right? Portals, payments, like all this technology is moving the needle. Like the data is showing it. And it's, you can look at this and say growing firms, are taking CRM and shrinking firms are not implementing CRMs as much. That's their data. I'll tell you right now that when people implement CRM and can get measurability and get a process in place. So Melanie Leonard, my co-host on our podcast, she's like, look, year after year, Clio survey respondents answer, no one answer, or we never got a call back as, from some of the data they've looked at. We have to put all this effort that I'm talking about doing for marketing, you have to put into nurturing your leads and following up with your leads. So here's my high level things on invigorate intake. Like I said, we've actually worked really hard on building like a CRM kind of quick start. So we can take a lot of the marketing stuff, set up the basic legal CRMs with like Clio Grow, Lawmatics, Lead Docket, et cetera, and get all this stuff connected. But you need to have a process, right? Who does what by when so that who can do what by when. Melanie talks about this stuff all the time on our podcast. Test, measure, adapt, right? Yeah, keep adjusting this thing. Know why you're doing things, what are the desired outcomes, and then center your process around the prospective new client. What is the communication? Meet them where they are. Data gathering. Are you data gathering for make it the process easier for filling out a contract later? Or do you need even data gather just to pre-qualify? Because maybe this is somebody that you shouldn't spend time. And then the biggest thing, follow up. These tools will show you, if you have somebody whose job is to follow up, the tools will show you if they did or didn't follow up, so you can actually hold people accountable to some activity. Those who follow up, I'm seeing more and more law firms actually start building like intake teams, like essentially like almost like salespeople, right? That are having them do a lot of the, getting the case almost to the end of the line. They, talk to a lawyer and then they're off. But that follow-up is happening not by the lawyer because the lawyer is very busy. Follow-up happens by another resource. I see more and more firms doing that. We have a bunch of clients that have implemented that and seen massive success. This is that kind of like meeting people where they are. People want 10 minutes or less is the biggest thing, right? Like that response rate. So after 10 minutes, you're not really following up, you're being late, which sounds crazy, right? It used to be, I'll call them tomorrow. Now it's like having somebody call up right away is important. And then again, you've got chat, you've got Facebook Messenger, you've got all these other ways people are connecting with you. If that's what they want, then you can put the tools in place where you can do some follow-up and conversation that way. You don't have to do the consultation over chat, but you can get some of the follow-up done quickly with chat. And so chat, text messaging, Facebook Messenger, Google Messenger right now, right? So there's a lot of ways and people want to communicate this way. So don't be surprised. Again, this is way you can get more information, gnjf.com/resolutions. Even though we all know we want strategies and tactics that work, we're calling them resolutions. So gnjf.com/resolutions, get a paperback or ebook version of our book sent to you. I really recommend the Magnet, Nurturing, and Online Reviews. And then check out our podcast. After you listen to Profit with Law, of course, then you can go over, check out nextlevel.legal. I mentioned the Legal Marketing Academy. So if you're interested in that, I'm not even going to highlight this too much, but like we do have if you there's information on these videos about that, so you guys can learn about that there. I'm not going to harp on it, but there is a month free if you use the word resolutions. My marketing people will be mad if I didn't say that. So thank you. And Moshe, 30 minutes, man.
Well,
there's a lot of content.
Mark, you had to talk fast to get those 30 minutes in, but incredible that you could cover all 5 of those points. Really, this is foundational stuff. And folks, if you're watching this and any of these things are not already in place perfectly for your business, dive into that. Like if your Google My Business profile is something you neglected, Mark is telling you these are the top 5 things that matter in 2022. Make that a priority for 2022. Don't feel, we all know the saying of, we overestimate what we can do in a day and we underestimate what we could do in a year. Don't try to fix your Google My Business profile tonight until 4 o'clock in the morning, but put it on your agenda for Q1 of 2022 and say, okay, I'm going to do a little bit every day, whatever needs to happen. And the cool thing is Mark and his team, they have like this challenge that they have that you can just join, and it's linked up in the comments of the live stream here. Go in and join that, download it, and he takes you through this easy, bite-sized, step-by-step process that you can follow a little bit every day to make this happen. And all of a sudden, you look back, and 60 days later, you've completed it, and now you have another lead of another flow of leads coming into your business through that. So incredible stuff. Now, folks, so Mark, thank you very much for your time and for being here today. It was an incredible presentation, and I'm excited about hearing what Seth's going to share with us shortly. But I want to first close out with you. So I appreciate you being here. Now, folks, we've got slides, worksheets, replays, all of that stuff. Really, really important because we're presenting this on Facebook Live. Some of you are watching this and you did not register for the event. So if you registered for the event, you're on our email list. We're going to email out every day the replays, links to download, slide decks, worksheets, whatever the speakers have shared with us. We're going to give you all of that, as well as crucial links that were shared throughout the presentation. It'll all be compiled in one easy to locate page where you can access it, share it with your team, whatever you want to do. If you're catching us here on Facebook Live, we don't have a way of contacting you. So go to profitwithlaw.com/planning replay, profitwithlaw.com/planning replay, and enter your contact details, and then you will be taken to the replay page. If you go there now, the replay page is not up yet, obviously, but you'll be emailed the replays tomorrow morning, and you'll also get the rest of the reminder emails for this event, which is happening over the course of the next 4 days. So that's a really important thing for you to know. Now, real shameless plug for me here. I want to just share with you an opportunity that you can work with us here at Profit with Law. If you've been trying to grow your firm and you find that it's going slower than you'd like, you're putting in way too many hours, you're taking home way too little income, then you're what we call a struggling law firm owner. Now, if this resonates with you, if this is something that you're like, wow, he's just identified me. Guess what? I do this for a living, right? I work with people like you, and I want you to know that it doesn't need to be this way. You do not need to be the struggling law firm owner. You don't have to work 40 to 60 hours a week to be able to succeed, or even 60 to 80 hours a week to be able to succeed in your law firm growth. So if you want to find out how our clients become proud and free law firm owners, here's what you can do. You can book a free coaching session with one of our coaches. Go to profitwithlaw.com/free coaching. It's absolutely free. You do have to fill out an application, so you have to answer a few questions. It's really not that difficult. Go there, book a call, talk to one of our coaches, because what we're going to do is on that call, we're going to help you create a crystal clear vision of your ultimate law firm success and the perfect lifestyle that you'd like your firm to provide for you. We're going to help you uncover the hidden challenges that may be sabotaging the growth of your firm and keeping you working too many hours. And you're going to leave this session renewed, re-energized, and inspired to turn your firm into a highly profitable revenue-generating machine that practically runs itself. So if this sounds like something that you are interested in doing, if this is something that you resonate with, We would love to have a conversation with you. Come and join us. That's it for this week's episode of Profit with Law. If you have enjoyed the show, please consider sharing it with at least one person. Imagine how many lives we can change if we each shared this episode. Another way to share the episode is on social media. We appreciate your support and look forward to you joining us again next week.